Okay, so today I'm going to be doing analysis of Zain versus Wizzrobe on the side of Marth, and I'm going to be doing Genesis, and I'm doing it for a patron um, who plays Marth, obviously, so I'm doing it on the side of Marth. But also, he said he wanted a specific focus on how he should be spacing against Falcon. So I'm quickly going to go over an important concept versus Falcon. So a concept in general in Melee is about effective ranges, about how at certain ranges versus a fox, he can unreactably dash short hop near you. Um, Falcon isn't quite the same because his hitboxes are really slow and then they just come out. And this makes a difference, but it added to the fact that he can jump so far off stage. So around the stage, I mean. So basically, whether Falcon does a dash short hop nair and hits you with the second hit nair here is the exact same as if he does it over here in terms of reactions. And to show that, I'll do dash 1, 2, 3, 4. He does a nair, first hit whiffs, and now I don't remember the exact same frame data, but yeah, the second hit comes out on frame 20, or yeah, frame 20. So frame 20, and then so if you react to him leaving the ground, you're going to be reacting at frame like 18, like 17ish. So yeah, you'll be reacting around frame 17. But now if I have the Falcon start it from over here, so it's the exact same thing. So he still leaves the ground and does a nair on the same frame. So he leaves the ground, he does a nair on the same frame, and then he comes over and hits Marth again on frame 20 of the nair. So the reaction is the exact same. If you react to Falcon leaving the ground or starting the nair, the reaction is the exact same regardless of the distance, as long as he can get the second hit of nair out in time for where you are, which he can do from like halfway across the stage. So Falcon, the traditional like concept of effective ranges doesn't really apply to his approaches, his aerial approaches. They do still apply for like his dash and cancel grabs, because like this is unreactable, while if I start from over here, obviously that's more reactable if you're going to assume he's going to grab based on the run in. So yeah, it doesn't apply to his aerial approaches. So obviously you could shield his nairs and his stomps on reaction, as long as you're not doing something. Because stomp hits frame 16, but it's got an audio cue. So if you wear headphones or something, you can get the reaction down to that audio cue fine. Anyway, I'm just turning down the volume a little bit on this. 1 second. Sorry about this. I just need to make sure it's not distracting me. Okay, that should be fine. Anyway, like I was saying, Stomp has an audio cue, so you can react to it even though it comes out. You can react to it pretty consistently with practice, even though it comes out frame 16. So yeah, this is important regarding spacing because it means the Falcon's only threatening tool that isn't that doesn't apply from like anywhere is his dash up grab. He doesn't really have anything else. Like he could dash attack whatever, but that's not really good. His good unreactable like standard approaching tool is dash jump cancel grab. Obviously he has stuff like this where you do instant double jump and then approach with a falling aerial, and he can move his aerial walls forward, but those are kind of different. Yeah, his standard tool is dash jump cancel grab. So that means if Falcon is all the way over here, the only thing you have to worry about is Falcon moving forward across the ground and his aerial approaches. And obviously, if he does like an aerial approach like this, then that's when you want to get used to like stuffing him. So you can stuff him in the air with side B. You can't quite do it on reaction because it's so you're gonna have to do sort of like read, or you can jab like this. 1 second. Okay, so sorry about that. So yeah, you can stuff his aerial approaches on reaction with side B. Um, if you assume that he's approaching from the air from his jump squat, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, you would have reacted by now, so now you're going to side B, and it's going to hit him in time. So, but that's kind of a read. If you assume it based on the nair itself, not the jump squat, because obviously if you assume it on the jump squat, then you can get baited. But if you assume it on the nair, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 15, 16, 17. So let's say you react on frame 17. You side B and you get hit. So it's sort of a read then. Um, Obviously you can react to him entering the air, but that's when he can do what I call a Sechi jump. So if you do a side B on like as a read as a as a read on him going into the air, then what Falcon can do then is he can do dash, short hop, and then drift back around your effective range. So he jumps towards you, you like read that he's going to come towards you with an air, he does drift back, fast fall, and okay, so that was a bad example because I was drifting forward a bit too much. So drift back, fast fall, and now Marth in lag, and then you go for a grab or whatever like that. So that's again what I call a Sechi jump. Like you could also, you don't have to stuff him on reaction, by the way. That's just for if you're playing a grounded game, and you can just throw out these wave dash jabs or these side Bs as a read. You can get baited and whiff punished there, but like I said, it's all it's a mix of game. But you can also throw out like retreating aerials, which are far harder for Falcon to whiff punish. But you can't do these on reaction at all, really. So unless you're already in the air, which is risky because Falcon can stuff you. Um, so yeah, that's sort of like the mix of game if Falcon is doing approaches from afar. If Falcon's closer, then it's far more like just he has all of those things still, while he also has instant double jump, falling aerials, whether they be approaching or in place, and he also has instant up air and he has grab. Instant up air, it basically, I said grab earlier. Instant up air works the same, but yeah. So that's just I wanted to go over that because like that's a fundamental part of like Falcon, his approach game. I know I covered it quite a bit before this without even starting the set, but I hope it was useful anyway. Yeah, so the reason Falcons tend to spam side B versus Marth is that they can just ASDI down in case they get hit by any of Marth's aerials. So they react to boost when Marth's in the air, and then if Marth hits them with a nair or a fair or whatever, they just ASDI down and then tech or crouch cancel or whatever. Um, yeah, Falcon can double stick DI Marth up air to like 60 something. Anyway, so there, Zain was dash dancing around. Um, Zain was dash dancing around Wizzy's effective range of stomp because yeah, there is an effective range for Falcon. It is large, but it does exist. And Zane's dash dancing around it. He reacts to Wizzy coming forward with a stomp, and he dash dance grabs. Um, Honestly, Wizzrobe should have probably tried to read Zane's movements a lot better than that. That seemed like he just wanted to threaten the space in front of Zain, assuming that Zain would move forward. Um, Obviously, even if Zain did move forward, he could shield the stomp on reaction. But if you're in the middle of an action or your reaction is just late, then you can miss that shield. Yeah, so that time Wizzy tried to catch Zane's dash back with a knee, and then if Zain like shields when Falcon goes into the air, then obviously Wizzy will get a low knee on shield, which is good, which can lead to good shield pressure. So you can actually double stick DI Falcon Stomp until like 40 something. So, and then Zain could have done it here. So, tech roll in, and now Zain could have double stick DI'd this Stomp and slid off the platform. Um, on some techs, if they hit you at the very end of them, then they can't get the double stick DI off. I don't think that's one of those techs. Um, I think Zain could have gotten this double stick DI. So if Wizzy wanted to read this, he should have done like a Waveland grab or whatever. But if Falcon does stomp this, then you want to be prepared to double stick DI it, which Zain wasn't in this case. So Zain goes for that a lot, where he'll Waveland grab a tech roll on the platform because he knows that the opponent's going to try to double stick DI. So he'll do that, and then he will back throw if they tech roll in, since that they'll usually DI that in because they're DIing to top platform. So then he'll back throw them, and they'll land around the middle of the platform, and then he'll do a drop through up air. Against spaces, you have enough time to do a drop through up air to cover the tech in place, and then up tilt the tech roll. But Falcon's far heavier, so the up air is going to cover the tech roll, and we'll have to cover the tech in place and the tech roll if you want to cover everything. And then if he tech rolls, then he's just going to get the double stick DI off. But you put in more damage at least. But you could just do something else. That was interesting. I feel I've actually labbed this sort of edgeguard situation quite a lot, where Marth can double jump to ledge and then he can stall. If Marth does a side B here, which is very common, even Zain does it a lot. If Marth does a side B when Falcon grabs the ledge here, then Falcon can do the regular get up Wizzy does, and then Falcon can just wave dash back to ledge. So what Zain does is he drops down below, but then the problem is that Wizzy had enough time to put out a stomp like that. So maybe, I'm pretty sure if Zain had fast foul, then he would have gotten ledge before Wizzy would be able to get the stomp out. So, but then that could force a mix-up, so that's interesting. Obviously, Zain could have also like meteor cancelled, but then what to do after that, I'm not sure. But anyway, so I'll go off and then side B, double jump to ledge, and now I'll have Falcon grab it before Marth does, like this. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Regular get up. I could have done that regular get up earlier. I'll do the wave dash ledge a bit sooner. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Okay, so now as Marth, I'm going to have him do the upbeat to ledge like Zain did, and obviously Falcon gets the stomp out on time. So this is essentially what happened in the clip. So now I'm going to have Marth do a fast fall after the double jump sweet spot. So fast fall and then upbeat to ledge. Okay, so he still actually gets hit by the stomp, so that's actually pretty interesting. You can probably horizontally sweet spot, so like that, if a little better. I need to get this properly, but yeah, you can probably horizontally sweet spot like this. Yeah, but then maybe, obviously I didn't do the. Oops, I kind of messed up the recording. Anyway, I showed my point. You can horizontally sweet spot around the stomp, because the stomp doesn't have too much range here. So like, the stomp doesn't hit too far off stage, that I don't think it will hit all of the Marth up Bs, just the standard ones like Zain did. So like the stomp hits there, um, stomp hits there, and if you do further back up B, then you should be fine. You can also up B Marth after he does the regular get up. Obviously, Marth can crouch cancel this, but if he's at high percent, you might want to keep that in mind. But yeah, it's an interesting scenario either way. I think quarter of an hour in, I've got half an hour left. Nice. Zain kinda threw that. That was... He just went for the desperate double jump there, but for starters, you want to... This is sort of a DI mix-up, because you want to DI the up throw in, while you want to DI the down throw away. So if you DI'd in on the up throw, then down throw would have gotten need, so he DI'd away. But then at the same time, this isn't the percent where down throw true combos, so Zain got caught out of his double jump by Wizzy's second up air, and you want to keep that double jump. Zain messed up his runoff fair. I've talked about this situation a lot in the other analysis I did for Falcon versus Marth for Mugi or something like that. I've talked about this like gimping scenario, and I don't want to repeat myself, so if you're interested in this, I would recommend going to watch that, just because it's good to know the matchup from both sides regardless, because you can get nuance that you didn't quite understand. And I talk about Falcon's options in these sorts of scenarios quite a lot. So like I talk about it almost the whole time. So if you think that'll be useful, then you might want to go check that out. But the thing is that you don't have to do this double jump to ledge right here. So Falcon, Wizzy goes for this short hop off bear, and I don't think he does it like on reaction to the double jump in. I highly doubt that. So like he's 2 frames in here or something. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So now would be around when you like get the reaction for their double jump in. So he's not doing the reaction. He's not doing this. He's not doing this bear on reaction to the jump in. He's doing it as a read because it's a safe read. So like Zain does this sort of double jump, and then Wizzy does this essentially. Well, he gets a strong bear, but he just does that as like a. It's a very strong option. But then, obviously, as Marth, you don't need to double jump in here. You could just do like a drop down a beat to ledge like this, and then Falcon is essentially dead. So, and also you can do like when. So I need to make this recording again. But you can also do like double jump up if Falcon's barely covering the ledge like this. So. The thing is, Falcon can do the bear to cover the ledge, and then double jump like... So he could bear to cover the ledge like this, and then he could do double jump air dodge on stage or something. I'm pretty sure at least. Well, maybe he doesn't. Maybe he shouldn't fast fall it, but okay, that should work. Yeah, so that works. So he does a short hop off weak bear to cover the double jump in, and then he can double jump air dodge back on stage. But as Marth, you can. As Marth, you can just do double jump straight up like this. Well, that was a bad example. So you do double jump straight up, and then drift in, and then a lot of the time you can grab ledge after that. So like you do, it's kind of an awkward situation to work in, but so you do like a slight double jump in or a double jump up to avoid the aerial they put out, and then you could grab ledge afterwards or whatever. So like I show here, Falcon can put out a weak bear to cover the ledge and then still double jump to ledge afterwards, but it's a tight timing, and it's something Falcon can use, but you can also stuff him like Zain tried to do. Zain tried to fair him, but Wizzy got the bear out afterwards, and like I showed earlier, the main thing you could do is just like fast fall and then up B, but you want to do the up B so that it'll come out after Falcon's bear is finished, and that you can gimp Falcon from that. So Wizzy is taking a risk there, and it's good to know how to kill him for it, essentially. Zain should have F-thrown there. There's no obviously down throw does not make for good tech chasers, but Zain isn't doing it optimally, I don't think. You want to do F-throw dash wave dash to where they land. Obviously, you can do DI trap for down throw tech chasers, but it's not like a true thing on good DI. While you can tech chase basically all DIs off of F throw. So down throw knee doesn't ever combo, and up throw knee only combos as the port for closest Falcon, and only from like 76 to 86 or some shit like that. So you need to, well, Marths in general need to learn how to escape kill throws like that, because it will force the Falcon to do a lot more work in edge guarding. So this time, yeah, Wizzy, he's trying to read Zain's dash back with a short hop knee, and what Zain does is he does a dash back, and then because he won't be able to dash in, otherwise he will get hit by Falcon's knee, he does a foxtrot additional dash backwards and then a pivot grab to catch Falcon, and from there he could down throw him off stage, but he goes for the up throw instead. I think you should down throw there. Just go for the gimp. Wizzy went for the weak bear read again. I mean, he didn't go for the weak bear. He went for the fast fall strong bear. Again, it's a safe read. It's not really safe. Like I said, it's risky as fuck, as I showed earlier. But it's safe in that Marths are going to double jump to ledge there, like almost every single time. So Zain showed there, basically, he just ASDI down. When you tag on platform against Falcon, unless your Falcon Marth's tech roll away will, at the very end of it, not be able to ASDI down or double stick DI normally, but you can still do it by holding C-stick down and into the platform. But for most situations where you tag on the platform, you can just hold C-stick or control stick down, and you'll get ASDI down, and Falcon won't be able to follow up like he typically would, unless he goes for a stomp or whatever, in which case you can double stick DI or something like that. So Zain's going for the Afro type chasers. He's doing the sort of old PP way of doing it. Obviously you want to do dash wave dashes just because it makes the setup a lot easier. But yeah, so that's what I was talking about earlier, where Zain does the double jump to ledge here, and then he stalls with a side B, and then Wizzy does the regular get up. So if Zayn was at ledge height, that side beat actually would have gotten him on stage sometimes, depending on when Falcon grabbed ledge. But he was beneath it anyway, which made it even worse, where Falcon could just wave dash back to ledge afterwards. Especially if you don't have a flagged side B, so then you're gonna like get the one that drops you a bit lower. If you do that side B after you double jump to ledge, and Falcon does a regular get up, they can just wave dash back to ledge easily. So what you want to do is you want to just double jump to ledge, let yourself fall, and then up B to ledge, and that will beat the wave dash back. Then Falcon has to go for the stomp, which I should counterplay to earlier. Okay. So, like I said, you should go check out the other video to see how I talk about this sort of situation. Zayn gets a tipper down tilt here, which makes it more simple for Zayn. Wizzy pretty much has to do a double jump aerial or a double jump sweet spot right now. Um, an immediate double jump aerial would have caught Zayn's movement forward. Um, but then, if Zayn wanted to read the double jump to ledge, then he could have done run off double jump dare or run off fair. That's the bare bones 50-50 stuff. Um, Zayn just does instant double jump back to land on the Dreamland side platform. I'm pretty sure that's actually slower than a not a no impact land. He did the no impact land. I'm pretty sure that's actually slower than a full hop waveland. So let me go check that. But I'm pretty sure about it. Whoops. Because I know the only stages you can do it on are Dreamland and Battlefield. But I'm pretty sure it is. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. So you get it shield up on frame 29 with full hop double jump. And now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Okay, so instant double jump is yeah, instant double jump, no impact land is quicker. There's no real reason to go for it here, apart from just getting better frame advantage, because you still can't reach the tech in place on the side platform. So it's just for the frame advantage. But obviously there's the old instant double jump platform tech chase setup that I used to talk about when I was a Marth main, even, which is if you instant double jump over where they're attacking, if you see them tech in place, then you do a rising up air to tipper, and then if they do attack roll, then you land and go for a dash jump cancel grab on the attack roll. So that's a pretty old concept of mine for when I was wondering how to beat double stick DI. Yeah, again, so Zayn DI'd in on that down throw near ledge, likely because he was DIing for an up throw. That's a mix-up you need to keep in mind. Obviously, there is a video I have, so down throw on Marth near ledge. I know I didn't spell down throw right, but okay. Down throw, up air on Marth by me. Uh, 30%-ish. For some reason I can't find it, but in corners. Oh well, it's something like this, where basically you could still get the DI away from the down throw, and then you can combo to a double up air off stage. At 30%, they can do fast fall double up air, but essentially, Falcon down throw is probably optimal there because they can react to the DI in with knee, and they can react to the DI away with the dash short hop up air, and then go for a double up air off stage. So yeah, there's that. But yeah. Yeah, so Spaced Falcon F Smash actually avoids Marth's. Yeah, Space Marth F Smash actually avoids Falcon's wall attack up B, but down tilt. I'd say you'd still probably just want to down tilt because down tilt was set up for a free edge guard, while you can also like dash back to avoid the wall attack up B, and you don't have to worry about spacing because you can be spaced so that you can hit even the most horizontally sweet spotted one, while being able to dash back to avoid the wall attack up B, and then you just go for a fair or whatever to kill the. You could just do down tilt like Nair or whatever and kill the Falcon. Anyway, there's something here that showed up. So Wizzy gets back air on Marth's ledge hop fair, and this is something I've seen Falcons do a lot, where they just not space, but like time their back air to hit the ledge hop fair. But as Marth, there is something you can do as like a as an option select for if you do get hit. So you do your ledge hop fair. So you do your ledge hop fair like this. And that was a bad example because I was hitting someone, so I need to have my Falcon move out the way. Whoops. Okay. And now, okay, so I'm gonna have the Marth do a ledge hop fair. And now I'm gonna have the Falcon do a back air to hit it before the shield comes up. I gotta wait for Wispy to go. This is annoying, but okay. I've got the Marth doing it like frame perfectly or whatever, so it's kind of annoying to set this up, but okay, so I got the Falcon doing the bear here, and if they know DI or DI in, then Falcon can go off stage with a knee, especially if they DI in. In this case, it was no DI, so and the percent's decently highish, so it's easier if they drift in as well. So like most Falcons will do this. So, whoops. Oh, Wispy again. Dreamland was not the nicest stage to pick for doing this, but okay. Ugh. This is becoming tedious now, but it's annoying to test. Okay, so I got the drift in bear. It's a high bear, which kind of ruins it, but well, you know that they can combo to knee, like especially if they DI in. Essentially, what I wanted to show is that when you're in your landing lag like this as Marth, if you just hold down, and if Falcon hits you, then you're just gonna slide off like this. And if you're super prepared, okay, Wispy's fucking me over again. I hate Dreamland. Okay, so if you're prepared and you do the ASDI down with your C stick, then you can ASDI down like this, and then as soon as you slide off, you can fast fall and get ledge again. So that's just sort of like an option select, or not even an option select because you do the second part of reaction. Um, but yeah, this is just an option. I hate Dreamland. Fuck this. Okay. I got my point across in the end eventually, even if it took way longer because, yeah. Okay, so Wizzy is port 4, so down throw regrab on DI away will work from 0 to 19%. As port 1, it works from 0 to 7%. So obviously you want to get port 4 against Falcon, and then after, if you don't get port 4, if you get port 1, then you don't want to do that DI necessarily. You can do DI in, and then force the Falcon to do instant double jump near, and then try and adapt to that. Because if he just does short up near, then you could just SDI it. But yeah, after 19%, or if you're port 4 after 7% and you DI down and away, then Falcon has to essentially up air you, and he doesn't get a true combo of that up air until like 20-ish. He does still get frame advantage though. That was kind of stupid. So Wizzy had to grab ledge at an earlier timing, just because he couldn't control it due to how he had to do his up B. So by the time Zain would have gotten to ledge, and by the time Zain would have gone to ledge, Wizzy would have had to have like done a regular get up or something. So at that time, Zain could have just done a stall or whatever. He could have just done. Essentially, Wizzy would lose his invulnerability, and then he would be vulnerable to a side B from Zain. So then Wizzy would have to get off ledge, and then Zain could just like fast fall up B to ledge, or just up B to ledge in general. So Wizzy went for that cheesy, gimmicky looking thing, just because he had no decent. That was a pretty awkward position to edgeguard Marth in, if the Marth knows the mix-ups and stuff. So you don't have to tech when Falcon down throws you and you DI away. You don't need to tech like that. So there's a few options you can do. So I'm gonna have Falcon do a down throw, and now I'm gonna have Marth DI down and away. And normally people might tech or whatever, but what you can do is you can do an aerial out, and you will, if it's not for as long as it has an auto cancel window, so fair doesn't. Let's see if up air does. So up air will auto cancel, so you can time an up air out. What about nair? So it is like a 1 frame window to get something out, but you can also jump or whatever. But yeah, nair will auto cancel, and then after the auto cancel you can shield or do something. So just to make it hard for them, especially at that past 7% for port 4 Marth. But you can also double jump out like that, and then you can, because you can double jump out, you can do like double jump waveland or something. Just sort of make it as hard as possible for the Falcon to get anything. So Zain just pretty much spammed ASDI down grab during that shield pressure, or just gentleman pressure, I guess. So I think the reason, so he, does he shield grab after between the last hit, or how does it? Oh, he does a jump out of shield. So he might have been trying to wave dash out of shield. And the thing is, if you act between the second and third hits, and then you get hit by the third hit, and you're past ASDI down percent, which I think is like 65-ish, or something like that against Marth. I could check on any data, so Falcon, jab, hit free clean, whoops, hit free clean on Marth, and if I just have him not crouch cancelling, just ASDIing down, you can ASDI down pseudo CC that to 48%, not 65, my bad. So 48%, you can ASDI down pseudo CC. After that, if you get hit in the middle of a jump squat or a grab or anything like that, and you try to ASDI down, then you will get knocked down. And that could be difficult-ish to deal with. Okay, so in this situation, Zain went for the side B stall. So Wizzy caught ledge, so Zain couldn't to steal it from Zain. So Zain couldn't. So Zain stalls with side B, and Wizzy times his regular get up so that he would get up after it. And the thing is, Wizzy could just wave dash back to ledge now, and he would get to ledge before Zain would from doing the fast fall up B. Zain could up B to hit Wizzy, but Wizzy is not at a percent where he's going to get affected by that. So Wizzy could have just done that. He does the stomp instead, which isn't as good, as it means that Zain could have meteor cancelled or teched. Yeah, so again, Marth players really kind of suck at that, because you're holding in, since you want to drift in with the fair from ledge, which is why, so they're holding in, which is why it's so easy to connect with the knee. But if you just hold down when you're in the lag from the fair, because there's nothing else you can do in that lag, so you might as well just like ASDI down just in case, and then you'll just be better off for it. Obviously, unless you get that fast forward to ledge, you're still off stage and in a you're not in the best situation. But it's not like you're getting need. So Wizzy kind of, he doesn't go for the what I consider optimal throw combos versus Marth. He goes very much for the old school textbook stuff, up throws, easy stuff like that. He goes for the down throw jank there. Down throw knee doesn't combo. If you get, there's no reason to get caught by it, pretty much. You can just fair out before Falcon can get the knee. From what I could tell, at least. So again, Zain, he dashes back further than he dashes further than people would expect him to, which is why he catches a lot of people off guard. Like if Wizzy read, like Zain reacts to the fact that Wizzy goes for a short hop approach, so he dashes back outside of the range that Wizzy could approach into based on that jump trajectory. So Wizzy could bait this by drifting back on his knee, so he could do like an undershot knee, because Zain can't react to the drift in time. So if Wizzy does an undershot knee, then Zain will whiff his grab, and then you could punish him afterwards. So that's fine. But then um, also Wizzy could go further with his approach so that Zain has no space to dash back into given the distance between them. And that means you should also, when you approach Zain, it should be in a distance where he can't dash back from the furthest knee you could do. So what I mean by that is, if I get this up here, and now I'm going to have Marth do a... So if I go at the standard range that Zain likes to dash dance in, which is like this, so now I'm going to do a dash, short hop knee into the back of Marth, like into the back of his dash dance around here. So if Marth was just dash dancing here, then Zain then the knee would catch him like this. But the thing is that Zain reacts to the jump or whatever and just moves backwards like this, like this, and then he goes to the pivot grab, and then he does something like that. So then what you want to do instead is start where you would approach with your knee from as the Falcon around this sort of... So obviously I'm talking about Falcon stuff now, but this is important to know because when Zane's base game plan, he wants to stay in this sort of spacing, and I know you want to help with spacing. He likes to stay in this sort of spacing. So what Falcons are going to want to do is they're going to want to approach from a closer spacing, like this, and then they're just going to do a dash into you, and then do a knee like this. And now if you try to react based on that, so I'm just going to dash. Now if I try to dash back further, then I can't because, well, I don't have the time to, given the spacing. So obviously Marth could dash forward, but then that's all part of the spacing read or whatever. But then the thing is, if Falcon is closer like this, then he makes himself more vulnerable to getting stuffed. This is the spacing where Marths are typically just going to be throwing out like jabs or side Bs or whatever, or short hop aerials. Less so short hop fair because you can. That's really risky. Short hop late fair can be decent, but also like short hop nair, short hop fast fall auto cancel nair is a good stuffing tool against Falcon. Yeah, so if you down throw a Falcon in the corner, he doesn't have to he doesn't have to get gimped necessarily, depending on spacing. So if I down throw Falcon by here as Marth, and you may already know about this, but maybe not. So if Marth down throws Falcon here and he DIs up and in, then Falcon can wiggle out and grab ledge like that. So you don't actually get a gimp opportunity here if the Falcon knows about this, but that's what Wizzrobe did just there. Okay, Lizzie pretty much just missed his wave dash time into ledge. He wanted to get there before Zain would, and I think that's probably it. Now I know this game was a lot of chokes, but I'll see if there's anything interesting to say. I've already been going for quite a while. So Falcon is actually one of the rarer characters where it's actually pretty easy to punish Marth's double fair on shield. As a character like Fox, you don't really have anything to punish it. A space double fair on shield outside of like wave dash at a shield, wave dash at a shield, turn around up tilt or some crap like that. While if I can. I've been using a new method for double phase, not double phase, just like phase to that direction recently. But anyway, so as Falcon, they can just do like a aerial at a shield, so either near at a shield or up air at a shield between the hits of nair. So it doesn't really make for good shield pressure against Falcon. Obviously, I haven't talked about it because it's kind of obvious, but I talked about how second hit nair is influenced, like the concept of Falcon of getting around Falcon's approaches when he does his dash short hop second hit nair, like from afar. But obviously, you might be thinking, what about first hit nair? Obviously you can like hold C stick down to ASDI down first hit nair, but that's not what people. A lot of people don't do that for starters. But also, so Falcon Marth's dash is pretty obviously it's pretty low and it goes underneath Falcon's first hit nair. So if you're in your dash dance or whatever, then unless you get caught like in this one turning frame, so here, unless you get caught in that, Falcon isn't gonna be able to get many first hit nairs on you. Okay, yeah. So again, okay. By the way, sorry if you can hear the dogs. They're being annoying downstairs. But anyway, again, so Zain had to move forward here to account for spacing differences. So he wanted the F smash to cover all of the ledge, regardless of like how horizontally sweet spotted Wizzrobe was. So that's fine, except then he makes himself vulnerable to this wall jump tech by Wizzy. So again, if you just down tilt this up B to ledge, then you're pretty much fine, and Falcon is pretty much just guaranteed dead at that point. So if I get Marth to put on some percent on Falcon, so now I gotta put it so that he can tech the weak hit down tilt, because if he can't tech weak hit down tilt, then you just go for that anyway, and Falcon's just pretty much dead. Because then you just go short hop out into fair, and then Falcon's dead. But if you can tech weak hit down tilt, then so I've got Falcon up being to the ledge and probably teching. So now as Marth, I'm going to do weak hit down tilt, and as Falcon, I'm going to do tech immediate up B. And now, as Marth, I'm just going to throw out a short hop nair or something. So, as Marth, I'm going to do down tilt. Or, what I'd say is the most consistent option is I'm just going to dash back. So, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So I've reacted to Falcon doing LB at this point. So I'm just going to do a pivot S smash, or well, apparently not. I guess hit, never mind. So weak down tilt, dash back. So instead of a pivot F smash, I'll just do a pivot jab. You get ledge after that, so don't do that actually. Don't do a pivot jab. So do a pivot. Just do a pivot short up fair or whatever, and then Falcon is pretty much dead. But also after you get this down tilt, you could just do a short hop nair. That makes yourself. I'm not sure if that's like complete coverage, dependent on all timings or whatever. So short hop nair. I know this is what M2K does based on seeing him and Wizzy play friendlies. So you can do down tilt, short up nair to cover the attack immediate up B like that. I'm not sure if this beats like. So if I just go out as Falcon and then start my up B. Okay. Yeah, so if I go out a little bit, not as much as Falcon. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then start it, yeah, then you can get in between the hits of nair, so that's not consistent, basically. So I wouldn't recommend doing that I would recommend maybe you can throw out a short hop fair to cover it. Um, so you could just throw out another down tilt, also keep in mind, but that's not quite consistent either. But yeah, so you could throw out a short hop fair like this, and that's fine unless they don't do a wall tack. Unless they don't do a wall jump tack. So let's say they just do a wall tack and then fall, and now they do the up B, then they can get after the fair. So again, the most consistent option seems to be the dash back and then reacting from there. Um, but the point is, down tilt and then that dash back or whatever is better than um, the F smash, and Falcon's pretty much just dead after that. So I talked about instant double jumps a little bit earlier, and the way Falcon typically is going to use them against Marth is instant double jumps like this in neutral, where he does like falling, like fast fall aerials or even non-fast fall aerials in place. They can stuff Marth's approaches. Um, they're not the best at stuffing Marth's approaches, but they can. But then also, if you do an instant double jump and then drift towards Marth like that, then it can be used as a mix-up approaching tool, where you can, if Marth's like expecting you to do this sort of instant double jump, and then you instead do no fast fall, drift towards Marth, then you can catch him in his dash dance because he's positioning to cover something that you're not doing. It's sort of a bait in that sense. Okay, so this time Wizzy got the... Zain didn't stall with side B. Wizzy did a regular get up. Zain dropped down. Wizzy did a wave dash back fast fall to ledge. If Zain did a fast fall after the double jump to ledge, he would have gotten to ledge before Wizzy, but he just did a regular non-fast fall because in that would let him get ledge even if Wizzy did a roll. So, yeah. I know from now on it's pretty much just going to be cheese because Wizzy somehow drops this. But, yeah. Again, you should... Zane's out smashing that, you should just down tilt it. Especially at the percents where Falcon can't tech the weak down tilt. Which you can just check on I need data. I would check now, but I know the person I'm doing this analysis for, King Killer, would probably know how to use I need data. So Wizzy could have probably AMS attacked that, which is what. Okay, it's wrong character, but I know Sheik can AMS attack Marth's F smash to like 108, and Falcon is way heavier, so I imagine he could have AMS attacked that. So Marth F smash ID 3, and then on Falcon it's DI down, DI to the optimal DI, and now he was at 112%, and yeah, you can AMS attack it to that. You can AMS attack it to 118. So what Wizzy should have done was regular get up and then option select AMS attack. But sometimes you can punish that because they slide off afterwards. So you can do like the F smash, they slide off afterwards, and then you can catch them in that slide off with something. But not from that position, I think, where Zain was in the middle of the platform. That was sick. Basically, Wizzy got the wiggle out grab ledge in a position where if he did double jump to ledge, he would have gotten gimped and died. I know the set's pretty much over at this point. It's just cheesy, nervous stuff. But okay, yeah, I think the transformation comes up now, and so this is a bait Wizzy does. Like, not. It's, I guess yeah, it is a bait where he'll do hang slash double jump. Um, if you and if Marth wants to throw out like something to hit the double jump forward, then what Wizzy does is he now does double jump back. He does double jump backwards and then fast falls and lands around here. And if Marth was to throw something out that would hit where this space is, then Wizzy would land and be able to punish Marth for doing that. So the only way you can punish this is by getting close enough to ledge to hit Falcon where he is now, which makes you vulnerable to things like ledge hop aerials or things like that. So it's just a ledge option to keep in mind. It's risky, but at these high percents, why not go for it? You know, you're not risking as much. Anyway, that's it. I love watching the facial expressions at the end there. But anyway, that's it for the set. I know it took me like 10 minutes before I got into actually analyzing the set, but I just wanted to explain some matchup concepts. And yeah, that's about it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you all in the next one.